Good
Why
news is,
bears?
the good news is, yesterday I purchased a treadmill. We know why. And I got it online, and evidently I can't pick it up till Saturday because the work schedules conflict. But you know what? I already feel healthier.
Just knowing it's on the way.
I already feel better. I ate well last night. I ate the right food. I'm a little sore in my hammies, my hamstrings.
You haven't done any exercise
I
yet.
know, isn't that awesome? It's already working.
I appreciate your positive attitude.
Me too. Because once I lose this,
Am I allowed to tell everyone it's your birthday?
no,
Happy birthday.
no, you don't. Once I lose this, I'm going to become more. I got a cold. Okay.
So do I. Give me a kiss. Come on. Happy birthday.
Ew. Thank you.
Did you really just go girl germs to me?
Yeah.
We've been married for almost 21 years, and now you're complaining about my girl germs?
Cooties. Extreme cooties.
Okay.
So I become more attractive when I'm going to be working out.
This is true. Well, you don't even have to do that. The fact that you've been taken is all you need. Because,
okay.
Because you were mine.
Okay.
Because he's mine.
That
Where's your ring?
I don't have.
I was gonna hold it up to show you were mine.
Give me the story about men becoming more attractive to
well,
women.
if you've ever had that suspicion that guys become more attractive once they're taken because like more girls hit on them and blah blah blah, it's actually true. They did a study down in Australia, and women are attracted to men with partners because they're more likely to be faithful. The
Now,
mate
wait a minute.
choice.
I don't understand this. If they see a guy with a partner, and they say, "Hey, he's more faithful," hey, I'm going to steal him.
Well,
and then
it's-
he's going to be unfaithful.
Well, this is all instinctual for the species.
Oh, okay.
The mate choice copying is a tendency shared with species of fish and bird as well as humans, and it helps females select high-quality males as sexual partners. It's an evolutionary advantage. So if you find yourself attached to people with partners, you are not alone. They say that men get an attractiveness boost if they are popular with other women. That's because, once again, they view them as faithful.
But no, I've heard this from women all the time.
Uh-huh.
It's like they're looking for a partner, looking for a partner, looking for a partner, and then once they get a partner, men are falling out of trees
Always.
everywhere.
Always.
Right?
Always. I don't know why. But so when they did this, they showed women pictures of men, and then they gave them some data and some feedback, basically. Oh, this guy was popular with this many women. This guy was popular with blah, blah, blah. And to a woman, and obviously the numbers were fake, to a woman, they all voted more attractive men who were already indicated as more appealing to other women.
Right.
So that they were like more, yeah, I think he's too.
Right.
And so, I don't know, I'm a little disappointed in the shallowness here. So the 4 primary traits that women found attractive.
Uh-huh.
Number 1, popularity.
Uh-huh.
They're more attractive if they're taken or they're popular with somebody else.
Right.
Number 2 is money, which I think is
Which
really,
I have none. But I cook. So I've supplemented.
which is interesting because for men they're not interested. They just think attractiveness is the first thing.
Right.
Number 3 is muscles, which I guess still goes back to the evolutionary concept. And then number 4 is intelligence. Now here's where it does get interesting though, because that would be my first thing, hands down. Hands down.
What?
Intelligence. I fell in love with your brain before I fell in love with your. Well, I love your butt. I lied. I fell in love with your butt first, but then I fell in love with your brain. But it's interesting because they say 1 out of 10 women, that is specifically the first thing they look for, hands down. Don't care about anything else. That's intelligence. So it's a weird mix, but basically what they found is, if you're taken, they want you more.
Where did sense of humor go? Because I always hear women say that's one of their top
That goes
3.
under intelligence.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So I don't know. I thought that was kind of interesting. And for men, once again, lest you think we are shallow gentlemen, and essentially we apparently are, your number 1, 2, and 3 were still attractiveness.
All right. Are you ready for the new feature on the show?
On our award-winning video podcast. Yes.
No. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome yourself to Todd's Sports Corner. That's right. Basketball, baseball, soccer, standing on your head a lot. There you go. All right. Time for Sports Central. All right. I'm going to put the camera down. All right. Tom Brady, Patriots in Boston, the Kirk and Callahan show. He's a regular on it. It's a sports show. So he goes on there on a regular basis over the last 7 years.
I think it's the flagship station for the Patriots.
It might, I don't know. But anyway, he goes on and he does his thing. And then one of the guys calls his 5-year-old daughter an annoying little pissant.
Wait, he called Tom Brady's 5-year-old daughter a pissant?
Yeah.
Wow, thank you for insulting my daughter.
Referring to a video that was made and he's documentary kind of thing.
Okay.
Now,
you don't get to diss someone. You can say anything you want about somebody in the media, but you never, ever get to go after their kids. Ever. That's so unacceptable.
So it was about the documentary, and the kid is going fun crazy.
Well,
like
yeah,
this.
she's 5. They do that.
What would be your response? What would be your response? Because you're thinking, oh, I'm going to tear you limb from limb. This is what Mr. Brady responded with.
Wow. He did go on and he said this. Well, I think that I've tried to come on this show for many years, and I've shown you guys a lot of respect. I've always tried to come on and do a good job for you guys, so it's very disappointing when you hear things like that, certainly. But my daughter or any child, they certainly do not deserve that. And so Brady said, I'll obviously evaluate whether I ever want to come on this show again, so I really don't have much to say this morning. So maybe I'll be speaking with you some other time.
Wow.
That is an incredible level of restraint. An incredible level. Because if you called Zoe, our 6-year-old, an annoying little pissant, I would not be on the phone. I'd be coming to the station, and I would have, like, a wooden spoon with me or
You wacky
something.
radio people.
Seriously, I'd have, like, a wooden spoon or something. I mean, that's just... I think he showed amazing restraint.
Sports team attacked by wooden spoon.
Wow. That's
Life-
probably a really stupid thing to do when this is like the huge star of the biggest sports team in your centralized area, and you just insulted his child.
The legislature is in session.
Yes.
And I think there's a thing that happens when you go there and you're setting up and you're voting on bills, right? And I think as a legislature, I think you get pressured into, well, everyone else is making a law. I better make one too.
Let's do one that looks really good. That's where a lot of those resolutions come from that they waste time on. Like, we're for the family. Thank you for passing that.
We enjoy the environment. Air is swell. So there's actually 2. One has to do with being a bystander.
Passive bystander.
And watching something horrible happen, a fight or a stabbing or house on fire, whatever, and you using your cell phone to record it and don't call the police.
That seems really bad.
But they're talking prison time for this.
They should.
Without helping.
I don't know if anyone remembers the final episode of Jerry
Seinfeld. That's all I could think of.
This was actually the Good Samaritan law that they passed on the East Coast, where if you saw a crime, you were required to report it. And this was, how long ago? 15 years ago?
Yeah.
So this is our first Good Samaritan law, and it essentially says you're required to do something. And it's true, though. People are like, man, this is going to get 1 million hits on YouTube, and they're filming it instead of actually calling anyone.
Now,
So you would think that would be a given, but apparently it requires a law to remind people of this.
This is what leads to the second bill that's been up, and this one addresses something really important, and it's kids left in cars during the summer, and or during the winter, I might add.
Anytime.
But anytime, and they're left in there, and their life is in danger, and the the law says a passerby can go and break the window without consequences about breaking the window.
You would think that would be a given, right?
Right.
But that's the part that scares me. They're actually stating a law now that says that there's actually been episodes where people have called 911 and then stood there waiting for help to come.
You can't do that.
And the child perished. Which to me, I've never heard that story, but if it's true, then it's unspeakable. But the point is, what they're saying is, just call 911 and then smash away. They're just saying, call first so that they can get first responders down there. And yes, by all means, smash the window, get the child or the pet out of the car.
Some people are upset that it doesn't mention pets. But I just got to think
I would think the pet would be a given, though, right?
I heard well, no, because it's still, and by the way, if you do find a dog that's in the situation and you do break the window, my thought is, all the people standing around you are concerned, and you just turn to them and say, you saw nothing. The guy who broke the window ran away. But the important thing, and I saw this video, and it was an actual video of this going on. And the dog was laid out in the back, and they picked it up, and they put it on the ground, and everybody just took their water bottles, and were just pouring it over the dog and stuff, and that's what that's one of the best things you can do.
See, I totally picture that I would break
For
the
the
window
kids.
to get the dog out, and he would come right for my throat. I just have this
Oh, the
feeling.
dog?
And
Yeah.
then his owner come in.
Where you been?
And he'd be eating an ice cream going, that's why I locked him in there.
Right.
Because he does that a lot.
So I'm not sure if that's gonna go or if it's too wide.
It seems like it would be unnecessary, but maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a good cautionary.
Because what do you have in your car in the left-hand corner on your door in that pocket? You have what I have. You have a glass breaker.
And if you don't, they're very cheap. You can get them at any auto parts store and Amazon.com for less than $10.
And they also have a cutting blade that's retracted. You can't get to it, but seatbelt cut. So if someone is pinned, you can do that and get them out. I just think that that's a good idea.
I don't know. I'm interested that that was a thing that was required, especially the Good Samaritan law. You would think that would be a given.
Well, you got to make a law, and that's why they have 500 of them they're sorting through. 500 different topics of they need attention for, and we're a part-time legislature, so that's a lot.
This is going to be
of
interesting.
reading, right? So anyway, all right, let's get some information.
All right, Daisy's in the Gephardt Daily Newsroom. She is brought to you by Always Black Friday. It's up in Ogden on 12th Street, and it's 30 to 75% off every day. Denali Performance Clinic. If you have been suffering from old joint injuries forever, or maybe you've got just endless migraines, these are the guys that can take it away from you, and they can do it without opioids. And All Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air. This is a great time to make sure that your furnace is working in top condition. You can save hundreds in energy bills. Go to allutahplumbing.com. Daisy, this is a big news day.
Good morning, everyone. Here's what's making news on Tuesday, January 30th on GephartDaily.com. Police have arrested a suspect accused of pulling the trigger in a Murray shooting Monday afternoon. Police say 18-year-old Tyler Dalton shot another man in the face after a fight broke out over drugs.
All right, so
at
basically, I think we're going to be talking more about
4350
Daisy in a
South
couple of
at about
minutes, but
1:45
first I will
p.m.
tell you about, tell me something good. But you have to tell, why do you have that?
Pez dispenser. We're having some technical difficulties in the other room, so I bring you Spider-Man.
Why do we have a Pez Spider-Man?
Oh, they're probably running around trying to fix the problem. Never mind.
All righty,
What am I doing?
let's do this. Oh, that's very attractive. Let's
There
do
you
this
go.
instead. Why don't you talk about All Utah Plumbing, and then we're going to talk
All
about
Utah
Tell Me Something
Plumbing.
Good.
All Utah Plumbing. What they have going on right now is you buy a furnace and an AC unit. January furnace, January almost 60 AC unit. You save $2,000 on that. Plus, they'll give you a free air scrubber, and that gives you the air scrubber, and that gives you savings of $3,200, which is basically like getting your furnace for free. Give them a call and go check them out at allutahplumbing.com. All right, so we're going to keep going here.
Okay, I absolutely love this. It's brought to you by Always Black Friday.
Throw it
Our
to-
people.
We can throw it to Daisy. Sorry, they
It's
got
a
it
little.
fixed.
It's a loose thing today. All right, let's go back to Daisy. Daisy, good morning. What's going on today?
Good morning, everyone. Let's try that one more time, shall we? Here's what's making news on Tuesday, January 30th on GephartDaily.com. Police have arrested a suspect accused of pulling the trigger in a Murray shooting Monday afternoon. Police say 18-year-old Tyler Dalton shot another man in the face after a fight broke out over drugs at 154 West, 4350 South, about 1:45 p.m. He then fled the scene on tracks before being arrested a short while later. The victim, whose name has not been released, was transported to the hospital in critical condition. Another suspect has been arrested after police say she assisted Riverton shooting suspect Justin Llewellyn, now in custody, in evading capture earlier. Carrier Jessica Hartley Johnson, 35, was taken into custody in Ivans on Monday, according to a tweet from the Salt Lake City Police Department. Johnson, who is reportedly Llewellyn's aunt, is charged with obstructing justice, a second-degree felony, and retaliation against a witness or informant, which is a third-degree felony. Johnson reportedly boasted to another person that she had successfully hidden Llewellyn from police and had bought him a cell phone. That person provided that information to the police. And the Federal Bureau of Investigation is offering a reward of up to $10,000 for information leading to the arrest of Noel Romero Herrera, wanted for alleged involvement in a drug trafficking organization in Montana from 2007 to 2010. Herrera, believed to be 35, has ties to Utah and has previously lived in Murray, Midvale, Sandy, and Salt Lake City. He is wanted for conspiracy to possess and distribute cocaine. Herrera is about 5'8" tall and is believed to weigh 190 to 200 pounds, with tattoos on his head, back, chest, neck, and arms. If you see him, call police. Time now for your Wasatch Front forecast, brought to you by Brio Technologies, Utah's top audiovisual specialists. Well, we know it sucks that we're not getting a lot of moisture right now, but it's hard not to like the mild temperatures. We're expected to hit the upper 50s again today, about 10 degrees above normal. Chances of rain or snow are just about 0 right into next week. We'll see a cold, dry front move through sometime Wednesday, when daytime highs will dip back into the 40s. That's it for now. For more news and weather 24/7, go to GetPartDaily.com. And for now, Todd and Erin, back to you.
Thank you, my dear Daisy. Okay.
Thank you, Daisy.
Tell me something good. This is a wonderful one. I'm excited by it. It's brought to you by Always Black Friday. It's 30 to 75% off every day. They're up on 12th Street in Ogden. Brand new store. I absolutely love it.
It's the Crazy Dutch again.
All right. Now, this is actually really, really clever. Now, especially over in Europe, you know that they have a huge population that commutes by train. I mean, it's one of their main forms.
It goes
far more so than highways. And, yeah, exactly. Well, Dutch Railways has been running a publication that broadcasts their passengers' missed connections in hopes they'll be able to facilitate meetups again between these strangers. Because, I mean, think about it. There's been times when I traveled there and I was it was at the Tube in London, and I saw a couple of really nice people that were obviously punk rockers, and I wanted to just go, "Are you playing anywhere?" And they were trying to answer me, and then I had to get off at the next stop, and I'm like, I never found out where they were playing. But it's like that. So they have a magazine they call Heartbeats. That's how it basically roughly translates that in English. And it's a free onboard magazine, and they just moved it to a Tumblr account. And they say every day more than 1 million people travel by train. And it can happen that you have a very nice conversation with a fellow traveler, and then you have to split up and leave. Do not worry, because here you can leave a message, and who knows, maybe you guys can get lucky and meet up again.
Wait a minute, I have a question on this.
Yeah.
So both people have to want this.
Well, basically what you do is you post something, and then if the person sees it and recognizes it, they can answer you back. Like this one. We sat on the balcony in the train from Amsterdam
Just make it up. It's Dutch.
I had fries with peanut sauce. I was afraid it would stink up the entire train. You had a mullet, just came from a Singing Bowls concert. I think you're pretty.
Yummy.
Thought it was way too short in time. We chatted. Want to catch up. And then there's another one which I think is really sweet. On Saturday evening, I was on my way to Hilversum in the Intercity. You were already waiting outside the coupe, and I was just walking around with my bags.
Listen to her voice.
The sliding door slipped right in front of my nose, which you also noticed. You laughed at me, and I laughed back. Then we looked at each other in a shy way through the glass as the train pulled away, and we both had to leave. Did we have a moment, or did I see that wrong? That is so romantic. We had a moment. No, well, okay, you can mock this all you want, but they say that over 4,000 relationships start on the train every year in the Netherlands. Because think about it.
Is that like the Mile High Club?
No.
Because,
immediately... This is about interpersonal relationships, not about your dirty thing.
As soon as you say that, as soon as you said train, finding each other, romance... I keep thinking about risky business.
That is so insanitary.
Ooh.
See, this is why I must not be a romantic person at all, because I look at scenes like that and I go,
public transportation.
That is very unsanitary. Yeah. I hope they had some, sanitizing hands.
Scratch that off my list for my birthday.
Lysol wipes, because that's just...
All right, so...
I guess I'm just not... Okay.
We got a note from one of you. We said thank you to you. We draw every week. They went to Christopher's Steakhouse, and unbelievable food. And she took 3 of her friends, and that was really fun. So we want to do it again. So every day we have you go ahead and just comment.
And this is really, really easy. Just drop a comment on the show today. I mean, it's embarrassingly simple, and that qualifies you for dinner for 4 at Christopher's. And then we draw a winner every Friday. As a matter of fact, I was just making some reservations for some of our winners, so it's going to be a lot of fun. So it's embarrassingly simple because we're not bright enough to come up with a complicated contest. Oh, MJ says she hears my voice change when I tell a story, too. She says I have a story voice.
Let's do this. I'll show you. Let me show you.
April says happy birthday.
Thank you. Let me show you this. What do we have around that's boring to read? All right, this happens with texts all the time. Or just want to use one of my texts to you.
Sure.
All right. So Erin will say, "Oh man, I just got this nasty text from someone or a message on Facebook," and then I said, "Now read it in your nice voice," and then it sounds fine. But sometimes okay, so what are we going to do? Okay, do
you want me to
happy first. Is this for me?
Yeah.
Okay, this is happy. Go ahead.
Hey, I don't have my debit card with me, and I'm at the Jiffy Lube. I just got my oil changed. Where are you right now? I'm in the Jiffy Lube on 5th South.
Stop. Okay, so that if you read that way, it sounds wonderful. Now the same deal, and read it in a negative way.
I don't have my debit card with me, and I'm at Jiffy Lube. I just got my oil changed. Where are you right now? I'm at the Jiffy Lube on 5th South.
So this is why happy faces were invented.
Emoticons are very, very important.
So you can say, read me in a happy way. I actually start text that way now. And from time to time, I write a text and I go, oh, no, erase it, start over again. Erin, read this in your happy voice. And then I do the text. Don't have my debit card. Where are you? That's adorable. All right.
Emoticons are very important in text. It is very easy to misinterpret.
Coming up.
Especially when it attempts humor and or sarcasm.
Coming up, monkeys and humans sucking on tailpipes. Ew. Story's coming up.
Can get your credit back on track and get a reliable automobile by giving them a call. 801-404-7201. And also by Columbus Travel with spectacular deals on cruises and all-inclusive vacations. Go to columbusvacations.com. And all Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air, where they have a winter special that they can check out your furnace and make sure that it's operating efficiently, saving you hundreds of dollars in energy bills. Just go to allutahplumbing.com. Did you know that you can catch the Todd and Erin Morning Stream on Facebook, YouTube, SoundCloud, and GephartDaily.com any time of the day or night?
At Always Black Friday, we love a good deal. We buy new and used products at a discount so we can pass on the savings to you. And we're Gephardt approved. From electronics to clothing to appliances. If you want it, we have it at discount prices. Visit our eBay store or come to our warehouse at 865 West 12th Street in Ogden. Always Black Friday, where you can find Black Friday deals all year round.
Happy Black Friday!
All right, welcome back. It is now time for the Spider-Man Pez dispenser. You can use both hands.
Thank you, Spider-Man.
Thank you, Spider-Man.
Would you like one?
No. All right, there you go. They caught her again.
Who?
So if you remember last week, we told you a story, and it's a very nice-looking grandma. And she
is an angel.
She is an angel. There she is. She looks harmless. She is a serial stowaway on public airlines. She doesn't care which one it is. And she has a way of getting past security without a ticket, about getting past the gate person and getting on a plane, evidently knowing there would be an empty seat for her.
Now, apparently, we talked about this about a week and a half ago, and we told you about it, where she had been arrested again, and she'd made it all the way to England before they figured out and had to fly her back, and she'd been in jail. I guess they released her because they were like, God bless her, she's 79. And I
learned her lesson.
I was criticized by a few people for saying, oh, man, at least she's got a hobby in it. It's kind of sweet.
She's probably trying to see her grandkids.
And people are saying, you're compromising national security, and it doesn't matter what age she is. And I know that, but she's someone's nana. Anyway, she has no shame whatsoever, which I adore about you. She apparently was released from jail because she was caught again.
She had the bug for the road.
Yeah, she was spotted near the signature private plane section of the airport around 1:30 a.m. Sunday. Apparently, she was just about ready to sneak on as a member of the maintenance crew on one of the jets that was headed for the Bahamas.
Who doesn't want to go to the Bahamas?
And so she was actually caught, and then before she could board, and she was taken away. But yeah, this is now her as I'm. Sorry, I'm just.
It's like
it's her seventh. It's her seventh violation.
That they've caught her. How many did
She's traveled to other states. She's traveled to California twice. She's traveled to New York City once. This is in Chicago O'Hare, by the way. Traveled over to England, and then she almost made it onto the Bahamas, and then once down to Florida before they had to fly her back.
Yeah.
She has a hobby.
The Dayquil's kicking in. All right. Did you know?
I'm sorry. It's a national security issue, and I should not be supporting this. I'm sorry. But she's so cute.
You know, that makes me think of, there's another way to do this.
How?
There's another way to do this, and I forget what they call it. It's hitchhiking. And not that kind. What you do is you go to an airport that has a section, you go to the private section where everyone has planes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you hang out and you ask people if they're going towards like California. They go, well, no, I'm only going to so-and-so. Would you mind me flying with you? And they take off and they take you to that place. And
people really will let a complete stranger who approaches them in a hangar next to their plane and go, hey, will you give me a ride? They say yes.
This woman, maybe that's it, looking so innocent.
Perhaps strikingly attractive.
Perhaps. She actually did a blog on this, and she actually traveled around the country asking people for rides, and sometimes there'd be 3 people in a 4-seater, and she just got to go, and she took pictures and videos and met all these people and had time to do some writing and recording while she did it. I think it's an awesome idea.
Maybe I'm just the fuddy-duddy, but I can't picture having a complete stranger walk up to me and go, can I get a ride on your plane? No, I don't know you. But I guess some people do.
She likes planes. He likes planes. I'm bored. This will give me someone to talk to. I can show off my plane. Because my wife doesn't see it anymore because she's bored.
I wonder if she has a gun in her backpack. Or maybe a bone saw. Do I look like a size 14? I'm sorry. That's all I would be thinking. And you're thinking, hey, we'll have company.
Yeah.
Yeah, your dinner.
I have a sandwich we could share.
No, your dinner.
But then you get like dropped off in a place like Blanding. And there's no...
We don't have any of those private planes.
Where are you going? I don't know. Anyway, the U.S. Army is being hacked. And this is the first time I've heard about it. Now, military people are great. And you know what? When they're not doing anything, they like to be exercising. Like a lot of people, and whether you use, let's say, smartphones, you use fitness trackers, Fitbit, and all these other things, you can load your information up to it's Strava, isn't it? Strava, it's a site, and basically they have claimed that they have more than 3 trillion individual GPS data points in their computers right now, in their driver, their external drive memory thing.
Wow.
Here's the problem. Some of these are in streets, and they show jogging paths and running paths and walking paths. And then there's some like here in the foothills, and they go, oh, look at you go up there, and that's great. And then some go to like the Great Salt Flats, and they go out there, and they have their trail out there, and they get that information. Every time you go to exercise, you turn that sucker on, and off you go. Also in Afghanistan, they have it on the military bases, and they go, oh, that's cool. You're on a military base in
In
Afghanistan.
potentially sensitive areas, that gives us now a complete layout and mapping area of
The ones
exactly
that are
where-
not labeled, that are out in the countryside, that are not labeled, and some guy decides to do some running or some push-ups, turns it on, and the GPS thing location is
Hey,
now
ISIS, just in
registered.
case you were wondering where that U.S. base was.
I have no idea about that.
Yeah.
So they actually are watching you, Big Brother. And then that information, that's a private company.
Boy, that's scary.
It's a private company. So all you have to do is look at a map, look at all the patterns, and all of a sudden there's one way off by itself. You're going, what's that all about?
Wow.
Interesting, huh?
And all you wanted to do was find out what your heart rate was.
Right?
That's a little scary.
Right.
Okay, now you remember, has it been 2 years now that VW got nailed for faking all of their emissions testing and saying, oh, no, we're so much better for
On
them.
their diesel models.
Yeah, and that and so they've had to pay millions upon millions of dollars in fines.
Right.
They might be going through that again. Number one, they were testing diesel tests on monkeys. And according to the World Health Organization, and we all
They
know
look
this,
scared.
they should be. They're about to be tested. Nitrogen dioxide exposure increases symptoms of bronchitis and asthma, respiratory infections, reduced lung infection and growth.
could
And
this
then
go
it's
any
linked
worse?
to premature mortality, cardiovascular and respiratory diseases.
Right.
Well, it started with EUGT, which is a European research group on environment and health. And what they were finding is they did studies with animals. They would lock 10 monkeys into airtight chambers and left to watch cartoons as they breathed in diesel fumes
What the?
from a VW diesel Beetle. Now, the car companies decided in late 2016 to dissolve EUGT, which tested on animals, because it was wrong in every possible way, because there's computer models now that can do that for you and have been for decades.
Plus, there's so many politicians available.
And then the VW said, we expressly distance ourselves from the study and the EUGT. We distance ourselves, and people went, that is great. What are you doing now? They've been using a test group of 25 humans
That's better.
to test the emissions
That's better.
of diesel.
And who
fumes.
volunteered for that?
I'm not sure they were
They need
knew
a
that.
PETA for stupid humans.
Yeah, they're calling it Dieselgate again.
I have a question. What could go worse? First of all, you lie and you pollute the atmosphere for the world, and then you go and do monkey testing.
Monkeys. Why the monkeys? And then you find out you're doing human testing.
Yeah, but you had to sign up for that. Hey, listen, we're going to put you in an airtight room, okay? And so what we're going to do is, while you're going to watch cartoons like the monkeys did, and while you're watching it,
We're going to dumb down those cartoons for you because you guys complained those were too cerebral.
we're going to pump in some poisonous gas and see how it affects you. You good with that? Yeah. Do we still get lunch and $4? Yes, you do.
There's computer models for that. There's absolutely no reason for that, and they know it.
All right. Hollywood is coming up. Hollywood, and we're going to
Fifth
find out.
Indiana Jones movie. Fifth.
Won't he die? Won't that big ball catch him and just run him over flat?
Apparently not yet.
We'll tell you coming up next.
The Todd and Erin Morning Stream is brought to you by Fink and McGregor, Mortgages Made Simple. If you go to fink-mcgregor.com, you'll find out that you can get a mortgage with a credit score as low as 600. Fink and McGregor, also by the Vein Clinic. If you go to theveinclinic.com, you can schedule an appointment and find out some amazing options for pain-free removal of varicose veins and spider veins. Your legs can look great again with the Vein Clinic. And also by Black Diamond Experts. They're experts in electric, plumbing, heating, and air. And they also have a brand new store up in Ogden now. If you'd like to reach them, you can go to blackdiamondexperts.com.
Did you know you can buy a house with a 600 credit score?
Really?
We have lenders, we have programs, stuff that's come up in the last couple of years. 600.
Wouldn't you have to have like 50% down or something though?
Nope. 3.5%.
Where would you start the process on this?
Well, Fink and McGregor has a website, 4minutemortgage.com. Just go there, fill it out, up and running.
How long until you get back to us?
1 business day. Whole thing takes about a month, start to finish.
Where do you get the down though if you're broke?
It can be a gift from family, relative, significant other, even your work.
Gift, huh?
Yeah.
You know what that makes me wish?
What?
Makes me wish I had friends with money.
Good morning, we're back. It is Hollywood Connection, brought to you, not surprisingly, by Connect Heating and Air. You can go to utahheatingandcooling.com to find out more, but they can do maintenance schedules for commercial and residential properties, so you don't even have to think about anything. It's pretty handy.
Indiana Jones, really?
Steven Spielberg, he's planning the 5th one as his next project.
I don't think it started off as one of these what do they call them when you do one show after another?
Series?
No, the other word. Anyway, franchise. Did he? I don't think he started off that way, did he?
Well, it doesn't really matter. It's what it turned into. Now, I thought Crystal Skull was a little weird. This is 10 years ago, if you'll remember. And they brought back Mary and Karen Allen from the very first one.
Right.
But there was something really weird. I'm not sure if she was
Off.
debilitated or what, but they shot her from way, way back.
Right.
And half the time it didn't look like her. And they wouldn't let her talk much. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Well, that's weird, because everybody I know had a crush on her.
Yeah, now, so Harrison Ford celebrates his 77th birthday this year. He is returning as the titular archaeologist.
He's the one in the walker, just in case you're wondering.
And no, let's be clear. You can be 77 and be super agile and spry. My mother is 87 and she does Taibo. I mean,
That's true.
the woman's a badass. Okay,
She is. And by the way, your aunts watched the show, and you just said bad.
yeah, and they're nodding right now, going, "Yes, she is."
They are too, actually.
And yes, you all are. Any one of you could take us. But see, this is the deal. It just seems like it's okay.
Find the damn ark, okay? Go out there, get it. It's in the warehouse, right? We know that from the first one. It's in the big warehouse. Go through and find it, and then it's over.
Now, you remember that
Move on.
Shia LaBeouf was supposed to be sort of like, would be taking on the next step, maybe take the helm of
right.
Indiana Jones, and then he went crazy and turned into performance art and
Which happens.
plagiarism, because those things do happen.
It's on my bucket list.
So I'm guessing that he's not going to be in this one. But so now it's like you've got a 77-year-old Harrison Ford, which in of itself is still awesome because he's Harrison Ford. But these tend to be a fairly high-action movie, so I'm kind of wondering where they go with this.
He did a lot of his own work. Not a lot, but he did
some. He did a lot. Don't you remember, like, the whip? He would cut the heck out of himself because he was trying to figure out how to wield it. Because there's some things you can't fake.
As long as he doesn't crash another one of his planes. Sounds like a good movie.
I loved he rescued Boy Scouts in that plane.
That was a helicopter.
Well, whatever it was, he rescued them.
All right.
Okay, other thing, if you were watching the Grammys on Sunday night, you might have noticed that a lot of the performers were wearing white roses.
Right.
And it's interesting. I like Pink, Lady Gaga, Miley Cyrus, Alyssa Cara, Nick Jonas. And they said, and I guess I'm confused. They said, we are inspired by the Time's Up campaign, and so we encouraged the artists that we work with attending the 60th Annual Grammy Awards to wear a white rose to the ceremony. We chose the white rose because historically it stands for hope, peace, sympathy, and resistance. So I guess that was their Time's Up gesture, but there's already collar buttons that say Time's Up on it. You could have just put on right there.
I like the white rose. I think it's wonderful.
White roses are very nice.
All right, so after information come up, hey, it's a Ferrari. It's worth $300,000. Take it home with you. Free. We'll tell you how, but information is next.
Yeah, it's Daisy's in the Gephardt Daily Newsroom, and she is brought to you by Fink & McGregor Mortgage. It's made simple. Just go to fink-mcgregor.com. Just Out, who runs this, has an amazing group of people that can call you back within the next business day with so many different choices. Also by To Liberate a Man. You can free yourself from adult addiction for good, reclaim your life, your self-respect, your family. Just go to liberateaman.com. And also by Black Diamond Experts. They are experts in electric, plumbing, heating, and air. Go to blackdiamondexpert.com. Daisy, my dear, what's going on?
Thanks, Todd and Erin. Here's what's making national and world news headlines on Tuesday, January 30th on Gephardt Daily. Andrew McCabe is stepping aside as the FBI's deputy director after being publicly criticized by Donald Trump. The 49-year-old McCabe will remain on the payroll until he can retire with full benefits in mid-March. In May, McCabe became Trump's acting FBI director when Trump fired James Comey. Comey acknowledged McCabe's decision via Twitter on Monday night. Special Agent Andrew McCabe stood tall over the last 8 months when small people were trying to tear down an institution we all depend on, the former FBI director wrote. He served with distinction for 2 decades. I wish Andy well. The Washington Post earlier this month reported that after Trump had fired Comey, he asked McCabe who he voted for in the 2016 election. McCabe told the president he didn't vote. And the House Intelligence Committee on Monday voted to publicly release a classified memo accusing the FBI of abusing surveillance laws in its investigation of an opposition research dossier on Donald Trump. Trump now has 5 days to decide whether to release the memo to the public. Republicans say the memo reveals high-level corruption in the FBI and proves the investigation into Russian influence of Trump's campaign was influenced by partisan politics. Democrats say Nunes' memo misconstrues facts, and Democratic Representative Adam Schiff of California, who is also on the House Intelligence Committee, has vowed to release a memo to counter Nunes' claims. And a government watchdog report released late on Monday says the Pentagon is withdrawing information that shows insurgent control is growing in Afghanistan despite the effort of U.S. military's nearly 2-decade-long war there. The report found the Defense Department has restricted data on the number of districts and people living in territories under insurgent or government control. Watchdogs say this is the first time the Inspector General's office has been specifically instructed not to release information marked unclassified to the American taxpayer. Donald Trump announced last year that he plans to increase U.S. troop levels and military spending in Afghanistan. And time now for a look at the Wasatch Front weather, brought to you by Brio Technologies, Utah's premier audiovisual specialists. Well, we know it stinks that we're not getting a lot of moisture right now, but it's hard not to enjoy the mild temperatures. We're expected to hit the upper 50s again today, about 10 degrees above normal. Chances of rain or snow are just about 0 right into next week. And we'll see a dry, cold front move through the state Wednesday, and daytime highs will dip a little bit back into the 40s. Lows will be in the 30s. For more news across the nation and around the world, go to GetPartDaily.com. Todd and Erin, back to you.
Thank you, my dear Daisy. Okay, Black Diamond Experts. It was very funny. I was driving home from work yesterday, and I was on I-15, and I saw one of the Black Diamond trucks, and I was driving by, and I sort of waved at him, and he looked confused, but he smiled and waved back politely. And it's probably stupid, but I'm like, yeah, it's Erin, because I talk about you all the... Okay, never mind. And I'm sure they think I'm a nut job, but it is really fun to talk to some of the technicians because they're licensed and bonded and insured, and they always have really good stories. That's my favorite thing about talking to anyone in a different profession of like, tell me your worst story. And they've got some good ones. Like the one basement that was waist deep, and not only their sewage, but a burst pipe from their neighbors, so that also went into the basement. So he was there for a while, and he had to call in extra help. But see, this is the nice thing about these guys. It's 24-hour service. If you've got an emergency, they will come and help you. It's just that simple. Just go to blackdiamondexperts.com, electric, plumbing, heating, and air.
All right, so I love this story. Actually, I did valet. I worked with a parking...
Yeah, you were down in Boston, right?
Worked across from Fenway Park, and all I have to say about the people who own the parking facilities around that area, it's, you know what I'm going to do. So anyway, but we'd hire out to valet at parties, big things going on. And they'd grab us, and I was like 20.
And you had such a sweet baby face. Oh, my God. You were just adorable.
As opposed to now I look like I was hit in the face with a shovel.
No, now you look rugged and manly.
This so could happen. And
really?
Probably
Because it seems so impossible to me.
Now, go ahead, tell me.
Okay, here's the deal. This is why I can't believe it. James Skip Fowler is a 73-year-old attorney. He has a $300,000 Ferrari. It's a yellow 458 Italia Spider. Now, he was at the Renaissance Resort and Golf Club attending an attorney's convention in Florida, and he handed the keys to the valet and said, "Park this, my good man."
And be careful. Oh, and if you think that, everybody thinks that, you're going to take a car and drive really fast, we do. We do. Like Ferris Bueller, we do. And
That's upsetting.
we do.
Now, this is something that I've seen in a lot of different places. They tend to place the most expensive cars sort of like in front of the hotel so
Right.
that it raises the image of, wow, look,
Right.
this is the kind of place where a person who drives a $300,000 car will stay.
Right.
Well, it remained there for 12 hours while Skip was at his...
Wow, 12. That's a long meeting.
Well, he was at his attorney's convention. And at that point, Levi Miles, 21, saw the car. He'd been talking up a girl in the bar, and he wanted to impress her. He said, "Come here, honey." They strutted over to the valet. He says, "That's my car." The guy goes, "Okay, great. Where's your ticket?" He goes, "It's in the car." So the valet goes, "Oh, okay, here." Gives him the keys to the car.
Perfect.
They go over and they're sitting in the Ferrari for a while, and then the attendant says, "Eventually, I figure I'm not going to get a tip, and so I stop paying attention to them."
Right.
And Levi drives off with the girl
There you go.
in the $300,000 car. So
Done.
I'm sure you can all picture the image of tearing down the freeway with the top down, going, "Woo!" And then eventually the police pulled them over because there's no taillights or headlights. And then the police also noticed that the 21-year-old driver Levi seemed to have some trouble operating the car, because I'm assuming
Standard.
that a $300,000 car is
Clutch. It's got a clutch.
got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, nowadays that's like a security issue that you have.
Isn't that funny? They also noticed that there was cocaine on the center console and that the girl he was with had marijuana in her purse. So this didn't turn out so well
It
for
was
him.
great, and then it just spiraled out of control.
But Skip is now suing the Marriott Hotels chain, going, "You seriously just gave my $300,000 car to a 21-year-old who said the ticket was in the car."
I think I've seen it in one movie, and I can't believe that they don't do it in more, is that in the trunk of your car or whatever, you have a red jacket.
Oh.
And all you do is wait.
Yeah.
And you walk and stand up in front of a hotel. The next car that pulls up, "Valet, sir?" "Yes, of course." You jog around, open the doors for everyone. They give you the keys, and off you are to heist a bank.
That seems really impeccable. That's why a lot of stolen cars are taken now, right? Because they use them in crimes.
Yeah. Yeah, unless you drive a Honda Civic, which is the most stolen car in the history of man, because they can break them down, and there's so many on the road that they can just sell the parts like crazy.
Now, why do you have all of our snacks in a bag today?
It's bag snack time. That's why. Daisy, we're checking her British taste buds. All right, hang on, let me get her.
Okay.
All right. Daisy.
It's all the stuff I
Would
got
you?
at Trader Joe's that's supposed to be healthier
Would
for
you
the
sit
kids to eat.
there? She's jogging in.
I was going to bring my Red Bull in, but guess what? We run out of Red Bull, so
Oh,
I brought
man,
my
this is-
palate cleanser, which is water.
Well, that almost counts like being healthy. Scoot
I'm
over.
gonna
Snack day.
no, go back where you
Little.
were.
Ooh, I like this.
I'm gonna
Lots of spinning
I'm
chairs.
staying back because I have a cold, and I care about you. So would you pick up that bag over there?
Pick up this bag.
Take the items out of the bag and place them on the table.
With my eyes shut or open?
No, you can open.
Okay.
All right, so
Ooh,
put
veggie
that down like that,
Yes.
so we can see what that is.
Veggie chips.
The veggie chips.
Take
So-
your snacks.
So, Erin, you buy these because?
Well, they're just moderately more healthy. It's a mixture of potatoes and veggies. So it's a little bit healthier, so the kids ideally are getting something other than lard
Right.
in their diet.
So we can call these snacks or treats. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Daisy, would you put a hand in one
He's being very, like, lawyer-ish, isn't
and
he?
tell us what they look like, first of all? Just take one out. Pick one.
All right.
All right.
Probably a green one, because that's probably
A
the
green one?
most
Here's a green
veggie-esque.
All right. Let's
Very
hold it up for the
pale
camera
green.
right here.
Very
Just there you
pale
go.
green.
Hold it right there. There you go. All right. Would you now taste it, please?
I love how she never goes for the whole chip.
I know, right?
She's not prepared to invest
Right.
that much time.
It's okay.
Your thoughts?
Well,
Why did you flinch?
right at the beginning, I was like, "This is okay," and then I felt like I was eating a little circular piece of foam. Now I've swallowed, and it's kind of over. I think. No, I don't love them.
Try the other one.
The thing I feel like with these as well is that if I got these, I would be like, oh, that's not satisfying, and I would eat the whole bag. Whereas if
they got better.
If I just got salt and vinegar Pringles, I would just eat less of them.
Right.
You know?
I have actually, that's a brilliant point. I've actually done that where I've kept eating going, okay, the yumminess will kick in at any time now. And then you consume the entire bag and go, no, that never really got any better.
Would you check the next bag, please?
Which colour shall I select?
Why don't you try the orange this time?
The orange this time.
Maybe that's squash or something. I don't know.
Okay. Am I allowed to... Hey, Lawyer Todd, shall I take a bite under oath?
Would you please take a bite, Miss Daisy? Better or worse?
Better.
Better.
Good. See?
Right.
Yeah. Those are definitely better, but I mean, I don't love either of them.
Right.
Huh.
What does Zoe and Zaki think of these?
Well, that's the point we have here. I will now
They
hold my
just
glasses.
don't want to eat them, and that's why they're here.
They've been in our house for 6 days.
Snacks don't last in our house longer than 32 seconds.
Right.
I have
But these do.
A snack shelf of healthy snacks that they can help themselves to. And those
Those-
have been there a while.
It's like 4 or 5 days.
That's ages.
It's for a treat or a snack. You walk by, and that's the whole thing. You walk by. I'm going to use this one. Okay.
Yeah.
You walk by and you grab it. And you go, oh, this is great. And then you bite it, and then you're like, no, it's not. Pringles, pretzels, something other than Lay's potato chips. 4 or 5 days. These have been sitting in our house.
I can't have potato chips in the house. You know that. It would be a violation of everything my mother has ever taught me.
What about you did a compromise? This would be my compromise.
Yes.
I would chuck these in the bin, and
Right.
I would go to the gas station, and I would get those little tubs. Oh, sorry, I just spat a little bit of veggie stick at you.
Nice.
Sorry about
I didn't
that.
notice, but okay.
That gross. One of those little tubs of Pringles that are like this big, and then just wolf them down in the car. Don't share them with your kids. Then you get back home satisfied, and they don't have anything.
And Your Honor, I rest my case.
I'm so
And
mean.
you wonder why I love Daisy so very, very much. That is so
Well done.
evil.
Thank you, Daisy.
I love you. And it even sounds, she could plan a murder in that voice. That is so cute. I love you.
Here, take that with you, would you?
You
But
are
what
so-
what do you do with the body? Throw it in the bin. All right.
I'm not joking. She could actually plan a murder, and I would think she was adorable.
4 or 5 days in the house. No one. The dog won't even look at
Well,
it.
maybe they'll get desperate one day and they'll eat some, and then they'll be like the vegetables.
Kind of negates the whole reason for treats, isn't it?
Fine.
All right. So
All right,
coming up.
When we come back up, Tom Hanks is going to play Mr. Rogers, which I think is really cool.
Oh, it is awesome.
And California is about to outlaw something where you could actually get a fine for it.
No more spitballs for you.
We'll tell you next.
The Todd and Erin Morning Stream is brought to you by Fink & McGregor. If you go to fink-mcgregor.com, there's a short 4-minute quiz, and at the end of it, you can find a whole array of mortgage options, and someone will call you back from Fink & McGregor within the next business day. Also by Utah Credit Approval. Go to utahcreditapproval.com because they know that bad things happen to good people, but that shouldn't stop you from repairing your credit and getting a reliable automobile at utahcreditapproval.com. And also all Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air. John has 24/7 service because he knows that emergencies can happen any time of the day or night. And right now they have a $69 special to check out all your heating systems to make sure they're working well. Just go to allutahplumbing.com.
Todd and Erin Morning Stream.
Why are you laughing at me?
GetPartDaily.com. Because we're sitting here and this stuff is rolling and out the window, and it always happes. There's a mourning dove.
It is an endlessly persistent mourning dove. I mean, it will do that for 3 hours straight.
And it doesn't pick up on the mics because they're not made that way.
We can hear it over and over for 3 hours at a time. I don't know why that little bird's got a voice box left.
Do you know they mate for life?
That's beautiful. Could you shut up before I throw a rock at you? I'm serious. 3 hours?
You're
Is
gonna
there
make
anything you can hear for 3 hours?
Ooh, I find it rather relaxing. It's going on right now.
Let's move on.
All right, so I don't understand this. It's about
California.
California. California, here I come, right back where I started from. You're going to prison for handing out straws.
This is really funny.
What?
Explain.
Well, this is the new law. The lawmaker wants to do this. People are criticizing it. Wonder why. The law makes providing a straw without being asked punishable by up to 6 months in jail and a $1,000 fine. What the hell is wrong with people?
So let's say you're a waiter and you're not thinking, and everyone's ordering cups of water for their kids. Now, I would automatically do it in one of the little plastic cups that a lot of the restaurants have, and I would shove a straw in it and I'd hand it to the kid. That would be my first thought, because that's what kids like to do.
This doesn't
So basically, I would end up in jail and paying a $1,000 fine.
No, it's the person who works at the restaurant.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If I were a server, that's what I'd automatically do.
was you a server? Right,
yeah,
right,
because I'm
right.
kids. I go, yeah, here's there.
And the sad thing is, this person is the majority leader, Ian Calderon. And this does not apply, however, to bars and fast food restaurants. But to only sit-down restaurants.
So you're at a Chuck E. Cheese's, and you have to ask the 2-year-old, would you like a straw?
You're going to prison.
And if the child misleads you, you can go to prison.
Evidently,
they're really going to imprison you for giving someone a straw without them asking.
Evidently, this politician, it's aimed at reducing the environmental damage from plastic straws. Mm-hmm. They end up in the landfill or waterways and ocean. So
that's adorable, but
evidently he had a bad run-in with a straw out in
a straw killed my parents, man. It killed my parents.
My dog choked on one.
Who knows?
But I wonder
6 months in jail and a $1,000 fine.
But a lot of people in his jurisdiction that came to him and said, "Can't you do something?" I know DUIs are important stuff, and foster kids and feeding the homeless.
Yeah,
but
that stuff.
It's the straw thing we're really concerned about.
It's really pissing me off.
Right?
Your
Once again,
use of straws.
6 months in jail. What are you in for? Murder. What are you in for? Bank robbery. What'd you do? Gave out a straw.
But it was a flagrant.
You have no rep whatsoever.
Yeah, so that's bad.
That's just sad.
Tom Hanks.
Yeah,
he's going to play Mr. Rogers. And I absolutely love both Tom Hanks and Mr. Rogers. And I just heard an amazing story on Twitter from a guy who had met him at like one of the worst periods of his life. And Mr. Rogers is walking by in his campus. And Mr. Rogers says, would you like to sit down and talk for a minute? Who does this?
Mr. Rogers does.
Who does this?
Because it's a beautiful day.
And the kid goes, don't you think you have to be somewhere? And he goes, well, sometimes I'm in the right place at the right time. And talked to him about his grandfather and how hard it was to have lost his grandfather to cancer and blah, blah, blah. I mean, amazing. But this is cool. It's called You Are My Friend. Mm-hmm. And Fred Rogers, of course, played by Tom Hanks. And this is sweet.
Did you know
Yeah.
that he was a Presbyterian minister? Did you know that they sent him to Washington, D.C. in front of a Senate committee
I've seen this
for
footage.
the funding for the
mesmerizing.
educational, what is it? It's the National Public. It's like Sesame Street. And all these things come from. And his own show. And he sat down there. Oh, my gosh.
I mean, you're thinking of senators, bitter, hardened men and women who have seen everything, and they all sat there mesmerized and just let him go, and he was amazing. And he did it in his sweet, calm delivery.
And back there, he was talking about kids being able to talk about their anger and stuff, which back then was like, what?
Expressing emotions. You should repress all those things.
And then the senator goes, looks like you just got $2 million.
It was amazing.
So, Tom Hanks, Mr. Good-doing guy.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's basically focuses on the relationship between Fred Rogers and Tom Junod, who is an award-winning journalist. And Tom was assigned an assignment to write a profile piece on Fred Rogers, and he's a cynical, bitter guy who works like for the New York Times and all the cool things. You're really making me do this. And they developed this very unlikely relationship and friendship. So I think it's going to be fascinating. I'm excited to see
I
it.
do too.
I was never in the right age where Mr. Rogers hit me.
I was
saw
too
a little
old.
bit of Electric Company. I saw a little bit of Sesame Street, but I never really caught with Mr. Rogers. And thank God I missed Elmo, the purple dinosaur, Barney. Thank God.
Mr. Rogers did all the voices. Mr. McFeely was a little weird to me, but I'm going to let that roll.
But that was about feelings again, not.
It was.
It's only in your bitter, cynical brain.
But he did all the voices, and it was too young. But if you're a kid, that'd be kind of cool. And they had the trolley, and how fun is that? And plus, he got funding, and then it got picked up. That's the cool thing. He did a show, and there's just this little show. And next thing you know, Canada calls. Not the whole country, but the person.
Just a couple people.
And then all of a sudden, other stations wanted to pick up the show, and that's how it became so big.
That's amazing.
I know. It is cool.
One of my favorite plays. I'm excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay. This is one of my favorite stories of the morning.
Toronto, since we're speaking of Canada.
Are you ready?
I am.
2 Toronto police officers allegedly ingested marijuana edibles that had been retained from a raid on a marijuana dispensary the weekend before.
Okay, now wait a minute.
Apparently,
Before you go. So they confiscated stuff.
Yeah, there was obviously like too high of a THC content or too much of this or that. And they raided the dispensary for not doing accurate levels. And so they took away the product.
These brownies and popcorn.
These 2 police officers ingested the marijuana edibles.
Because they were hungry and they were in the police station.
They were actually on duty not far from the station, about 2 blocks away.
Oh, so they stopped in for like a drive-through.
Hallucinated and then called for help while on duty. This is Sunday morning. So apparently, the officers began to complain of hallucinations. One made the call saying officer needing assistance, which is like,
it's like officer
oh my God,
down.
everyone's down. Everyone's in their cars, everyone's racing, like officer needs assistance.
Right.
During the call, another officer responding to the scene slipped on ice and suffered a head injury requiring help.
The story just keeps going downhill.
While the 2 just sat there staring into space.
Right.
And eventually they managed to pry the car doors open. Apparently both officers were holding onto the handles with all their might and wedging with their feet.
Because they didn't want to be,
Because apparently they thought there was something out there that was going to eat them. Unsurprisingly, the 2 of them are now on suspension.
I'd like to point something out really
pending
quickly.
Further investigation.
Because there's so much interest right now in medical marijuana, I would like to point out that marijuana does not make you hallucinate. So they're busting that store,
They had something
dispensary,
extra.
that they put something in the marijuana that made them hallucinate, because that will not do it to you.
So that's probably why they busted them, is because they had
Yes.
LSD or some other
Yes.
ingredient.
Well, let's just not get technical, okay?
All we know is they probably shouldn't have had brownies that morning.
All right, so today, and this is the January 30th.
Todd's birthday. Happy birthday. I love you. I love you so much. Really? You're going to be like this all day? Zoe was so excited. She made you a little banner and everything.
You have to be nice to the kids, because the kids are like this. But
They're
that's
excited
it.
for
Nothing more.
you.
So anyway, this being January 30th, if you're watching this show later in the year, that's fine. But highs today are going to be 57 degrees in January on the 30th. Today, if you look outside, you'd be hard-pressed anywhere in the valley to find snow. And in the mountains, we really don't have enough. I mean, look
It's
at
almost
this.
60
This
degrees
looks
today.
like spring. 57 is going to be your high today.
I know, and I hope it stays this way. Sorry.
But there are other people who want it a different way, and that's the way we're going to leave you today. First of all, thank you for for watching
There's no such thing as global warming. No such thing.
Okay.
You're going to bring. Oh, you really had to bring politics and global warming into this, did you?
Of course, Richard did. What do you think?
Thanks for watching the Todd and Erin Morning Stream on GetPartDaily.com. Now
And if
we're
you've
going to
been
show
missing
you.
the snow.
We're going to show you what it should be looking like right now. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.